Let's talk about this past weekend, because there was a lot of conversation around the LSU football team, not just here locally, but nationally. All right, more locally, obviously. I think after the first game nationally, they had their deal, and then they kind of figured, okay, let's just see what's going to happen. Locally, I think everybody was like, well, this is not the team that we all expected to have. This isn't the team that has all these returners on offense coming back. This isn't the team that we want to see. Harold Perkins isn't as good because they have him doing all these things. All these issues that everybody wanted to make into this huge deal, and yes, they could have been a big deal. We here on the show, we're talking about, hey, listen, all of those things are true. They're all issues. They have all happened. None of it was good. But this is football. Every team is different. I don't care if you have 20 of 22 returning starters. That team is going to be different. Personality is different. The chemistry is a little different. The season starts over. Everybody's 0-0. Like, you just have to figure out how that team meshes and works together. And unfortunately, you played a team that's going to be in the college football playoff at the end of the year. They're probably going to win the ACC. They're going to be they're a top 3 team in the country right now. And so you had to go and you have to be good right away. We were not. And so after that, you hope that you have the adjustments. You hope that the coaches say, okay, this is what we did wrong. Let's fix that. Let's make some changes. And you saw that against Grambling, but then it was Grambling. Okay, now we're on the road, 11 a.m. at Mississippi State, first SEC game. What are we going to see? And I think everybody, if anybody has any complaints about the game, go away. Go home.
You'll never like it.
Just quit being a fan. Quit being a fan, because that you shouldn't have any complaints. Jaden Daniels was 30 of 34, 361 yards, 2 touchdowns in the air. Also 2 rushing, right?
Yep.
2 rushing. I think 2.
He had 2.
2 rushing. The linebacker position, that was a position of concern. Played great. Craig Penn played lights out. Weeks played lights out. Harold Perkins played lights out. He had sack, 2 tackles for loss. He had more than that. He actually went from, hey, I'm going to have a pass break up in the corner of the end zone to I'm going to sack the guy the next play. So that shows you the range of athleticism that he's got. Our secondary played great. Andre Sam was flying around like a human missile.
He looked like a torpedo.
Everywhere, right? Major Burns played great. Offensive line played great. I thought the game plan from the coaching staff was awesome. I like the discipline of the coaching staff. Your Will Campbell, left tackle, All-American, number 7, or the 7 on the jersey because you can't wear 7 as an offensive lineman.
Changed the role.
I felt like he had a pretty good game. He had 4 penalties. You saw Brian Kelly on the sidelines. Says, I don't give a fuck. It's 4 penalties. Take him out. And it wasn't because he's not good enough. It was because Brian Kelly was trying to make a point. Like, listen, these penalties that you're having, it's up here. It has nothing to do with physical ability.
Skill.
And I think that's a good thing. I think if you ask Will Campbell, he said, yeah, I probably deserve that. And to me, that is a good sign from the coaching staff. It shows that they're coaching, they're teaching, they're holding players accountable. Running back position was great. Caleb Jackson killed a guy.
Murder.
On the field. We've seen that twice at LSU in my time watching.
No, you never see it. Listen, what Leonard did was unbelievable. I never seen that. Just gonna be
What'd the guy do? You should.
Full out slide.
He slid 2 yards.
Like this, in this position. Not like, kind of like full out slide. I've never seen that in my life before.
This man hit it, and he slid 3 yards.
Like when they showed up to watch film the next day.
Oh, I'm not there.
3 plays before this is coming up, and you're like, Coach, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. Like, I can't sit here for this because I'm not going through that whole thing again.
Oh, we'll press pause for you.
Oh, my God.
We'll wait. We got time.
We got time.
We'll wait till you get back. We want to make sure that you see this. It was such a big hit that Caleb Jackson didn't know what to do.
He forgot.
Like, he hit it, and he's like, wait, do I move? Like, is he okay? Like, I think he wanted to check on the guy.
He stopped and flexed on top of him and got tackled.
Yeah.
He thought he was out of bounds. Caleb Jackson hit that man and he grew an inch.
And so you see all these good things. Logan Diggs had a pretty good game. Malik Neighbors obviously had a monster game. Malik Neighbors could have broken every receiver record if he wanted to, if the game was closer and they didn't call the dogs off. Thought our secondary played well. I thought all around it was really good. You saw Lance Hurd get in the game a lot more. He had a little bit of a holding penalty on that first down run early in the game. But, look, you're going to have these things. You also saw him there was another play. And the reason I'm saying this specific play is because I rewatched some of the game today. And he was playing right tackle. Emory Jones was playing guard. and they did a stunt. And Zalance Hurd picked up the guy coming across, chipped him, and picked up the guy coming in. Now, he had help from Logan Diggs on the outside with the other guy. But now the guy he first chipped ended up making the sack, and that's because I think that Emory Jones, there was miscommunication on his side. But the fact that Hurd knew what to do, was able to do it, I think that's encouraging. You had a bunch of key players out. They're going to be back this weekend, and I think that all these young guys that play, we talked about it. These guys that are going to get in the lineup as a freshman, maybe they weren't ready. Maybe they, weren't expecting to be there just yet. They got there. You see a lot about that. Ryan Yates played great. Like, it was just, you saw a lot more from these guys that you don't normally see, and that's what I like to see. With that said, though, I want to hear from y'all. What did you like to see, Jay? I know that me and you are kind of on the same wavelength as far as what we like to see on the field, but sometimes you go up there and you see something different from what I see it. What did you like from these guys this past weekend?
I was encouraged by seeing. So, I guess if you go back to the Florida State game, I'm thinking about the offensive side of the ball. Is they didn't necessarily get behind schedule. There wasn't a ton of negative plays, but when they got to the second, and obviously running down third down, and obviously even times they got the fourth down, just couldn't convert.
Right.
What I was able to see this time was them staying on schedule, getting to third downs, converting third downs. I think at one point they were still pretty perfect at it. At one point, getting converted third downs, moving the ball up and down the field, that was great to watch. Defensively, as great as they played, I really don't want to take anything away from how well they played, but it was very apparent how new that offense was to Mississippi State.
You think?
And, we watched a quarterback who's so used to throwing this thing around 50 times a game and doing it pretty well, too. Looked like he's never thrown a football before on the other side, early in the game, right? He's skipping balls. They're not on the same page. He's skipping some balls. He's airmailing some balls. It was kind of all over the place, and that played right into allowing our defense to get comfortable, allowing our D-line to assert themselves and start dominating, allowing those linebackers to start flying around. And I thought the defensive backs played a lot better than they have all season yesterday. I'm very interested to see what do they do going forward here, because there were some names through two games we didn't really get to see highlighted and showcased that popped when you watched the game.
Give me those names.
The Weeks kid pops. Sam popped. Caleb Jackson popped. Logan Diggs played well. Malik, it's not even about the 12 or 13 catches for me. Malik looked like he was on a different level. Is
that the first game you're like, okay, he's a ride?
First game,
he's always been really
good. He's been on a different level.
Yeah.
He's been on that upper echelon of that's different than what I'm seeing from every other game he's played, and honestly from every other player that's on the field, right? Those things pop. So it'll be interesting to see how you assert those things moving forward, because it seems like we may have found some playmakers, and there's you're missing a very experienced, very good linebacker in Spates. You're missing a very experienced, very good safety in Greg Brooks, right? But how do you get these other guys in here? And some of them are younger, but how do you get these other guys in here? Because they made plays. You need people to come in and make plays.
And we've talked about this, right? How you sustain this success for years and years and years is to develop these young guys, right? And so now part of the issue was you aren't sure about the depth. You're not sure about these young guys. These go out there and they pop, and now all of a sudden you're not as light defensively as you thought.
Yeah.
Now these guys maybe are a little bit more ready to play than you thought they were, and they showed you they can. Whit Weeks was not talked about at all. As far as, this guy, he was a recruit. They liked him.
You didn't think he was in the picture. Not for this year.
And he comes in here, he has 8 tackles in his first career start, or first career extended. Did he start? Mm-hmm. He started. His first career start is in the SEC on the road in Starkville at 11 a.m. Listen, I know it's Mississippi State, and LSU is better than Mississippi State and has historically better than them, but you're going there in the morning with cowbells, and it's loud, and it's your first start. You're going against a team that has a really good running back.
So in football for me, that statement about a team being better than someone and you're supposed to beat them and they don't belong on the field with you, I think in football it is the one statement that I could care less about hearing about, right? If you watch a basketball game, bro, anybody can have shots falling any night.
Right.
You watch a baseball game, anybody can run into a couple balls and do something special in a night. when you're supposed to be better than a team in football and you impose your will and you go out there and actually execute that and you beat the shit out of them, that lets me know you are what you think you are as a team.
And football's hard, dude.
Go from year to year when you've seen just take the last 2 years, right? We've all talked about how dominant Georgia's been the last 2 years. When they've played teams that have not been on the same level as them, you have not seen close games.
Minus this
from
week,
start to finish.
Minus this, let's pass
the last 2 years, right?
No.
So that's my point. So like, I don't in football, to me, when you see those things, that speaks a lot, right? We don't play Grambling and go and beat Grambling 35-14. It was that before you left the first half.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That shows me that, hey, this team it has the capabilities to be as good as you hoped it could be. And then now you just got to continue to keep doing it.
Lloyd, do you have anything? Because I want to take another point of this, but go ahead if you want to give me your 2 cents.
I think it was the best.
Also, I'm very proud of you that I have turned you into more of an optimist than a pessimist.
I mean, it is fun. It is fun. But
it's been a long road over 18
Yeah,
months.
Look, it's not that. Listen, it's easy to go back to the bad way habits, so I gotta stay on them.
Nervous Lloyd that this season didn't even really show up, so I like it.
Well, they killed me early. They just put the knife in the gut in week 1. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm dead.
The knife in the gun?
In the gut.
Oh, I thought it was like, damn, you gotta shoot.
That'd be a bayonet.
Gun knife?
Bayonet. Little history lesson. No, but what I was impressed with was that I feel like if you were an LSU fan or if you were on the LSU football team, what you saw for an 11 a.m. kick at Mississippi State, where it seems like the first 2 weeks did not go your way. There wasn't a lot of juice. There wasn't a lot of energy. There's all the things that you were like, what?
Stopping at gas stations?
Yeah.
Or car dealerships?
I guess. Yeah, but it had a lot going against you, but I don't care about any of that. It was the fact that they got up and they played with an intent and a purpose to be like, the first 2 weeks you saw were not LSU football. Yep. And I think even Will Campbell doing what they allegedly threw a helmet and took somebody's helmet off and threw it off the field, and Kyle Turley did a little bit. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
Yeah, but that's just
that either.
Did he get a penalty?
That was just the 4th penalty that got him, and that was why
I didn't see that.
That was just what I had heard. I think they said it on the broadcast, but I'm glad he did it. Like, you had 2 separate lessons learned there. One from Brian Kelly being like, hey, we're not going to tolerate that. And one from Will Campbell going, we're LSU. Like, they got bullied the first 2 games. Even Grambling tried to bully him. They tried to take Harold Perkins' mouthpiece off his helmet and, hit him. And it's like, LSU was just taking it. You learned that you got some dogs. And you saw from week to week to week, this team is not a final product yet. And then this week, this might be the best game they play all year. But at least you know that you can play that good.
Right. And it's the physicality was there.
That's not the standard. You're not going to play 100 every time.
For sure.
But that was as impressive of a win when you had to have it, because I think a lot of people, fans included, were, I don't know what LSU is.
Right. Sometimes it takes some time to have your identity, right? And we talked about what they did this week, and we talked about how much better they had looked. And to me, they played a flawless game.
That was perfect.
Thank God they gave up the touchdown at the end of the first half, because that helped my over, and I hit the over, which was awesome. But they played a perfect game. Like, they played exactly what you'd wanted to. I don't think they had single digits of offense given up. I think their defense only gave up 60 or something yards, maybe a little bit more because that 52-yard run in the first half.
They gave up 200 yards total.
Right. And so can't ask for much more than that. They got after the quarterback. Savion Jones is real. Coach. Real. I know people talk about, he was good last year, he was good this year. No.
He could be game-changing.
He's going to be in the NFL.
Yes.
He's going to be in the NFL. He is athletic. He is long. He beats the left tackle all the time.
And that's what I'm talking about. It feels like they got all of the puzzle pieces are kind of falling into place now.
You're starting
whether
to see,
it be even if Weeks isn't the starter, you still have him that reserve role and that allows Omar Spades to get healthy, because that was the biggest test for Weeks going into a game where they're going to run the football. He could have gotten exposed out there. Instead, he showed out.
No doubt.
So now you feel like you have depth at the linebacker position. I feel like Mason Smith got better. He got more comfortable out there. And then you see Mik'd Wingo keep being Mik'd Wingo. Then that lets Savion Jones do it. Harold Perkins was Harold Perkins.
He was great. Had sack, had a pass break up, had a few tackles for losses.
The PBU, it was a roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean, he's chasing a guy, and thank God he's playing college, not
Yeah.
NFL, because that's pass interference in NFL.
Face
Face guarding. But
got him.
he did what he needed to do. Broke up the play.